Welcome to Gaming Alchemy, everyone. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of Shadows of Brimstone Forbidden Fortress core box. And we will be playing as the Geisha and the soldier. Can't actually see his face there. And I've been playing through quite a few missions solo. So we're just going to continue on, kind of halfway through the whole campaign, so you can kind of see what a more leveled up character might look like. So both of my characters are level 3 heroes at the moment. I'm using dice to track everything. So this is my combat hits. He's at 5. He gets to roll 5 dice. And he's got 3 max grit now. He's got extra health and sanity. And his spirit is 3. His initiative is up 1 to 4. These are his weapons. He's got this flintlock rifle, which gives him range 10, and it's been upgraded to give him 2 shots instead of 1. And his ability is if you do not move during your activation, you get an extra shot in your gun. And he does not need to target adjacent enemies first with his ranged attacks. And then he's also got this Fallen Blade, which once per turn, discard a Darkstone to add 2 damage to one of your combat hits. So he can discard Darkstone. He doesn't actually have any at the moment, though, so we're going to have to find some. And then his attacks are +1 damage against myth enemies. He's got some Fallen Armor, which is where some of that extra health comes from. And you can place up to 2 status effect markers here during an adventure instead of on yourself. Status effect markers have no effect on you. Discard any markers here at the end of the adventure. He's got this Ring of the Yamabushi. He's got extra spirit. This is his family crest that he started with. And this is his ability that he started with, which is Sharpshooter. So anytime he kills an enemy with a ranged critical hit, recover a grit on the roll of a d6, 4+ on a d6. And once per fight, use a grit to add d6 damage to one of your gun hits. And he's got this other blade that's a single-handed weapon. Once during a turn, you may add 1 to all your defense rolls just rolled. So that can also be sold. Any of these can also be sold for the money value listed on the bottom. And then he's got some armor. So after he rolls defense, he can roll for his armor to try to prevent hits. And he's holding the lantern, which just means he's going to be doing the darkness rolls. And then he's got a helmet that gives him +1 max grit. And the Geisha over here has also some abilities beefed up. She's got 3 combat hits, still only has 2 max grit. And some of these abilities skills up here have been upgraded. She's holding some dark stone that I'm just holding there. And she has this parasol that she started with, and it's been upgraded a bit. So now she does +1 damage against large or bigger enemies, and critical hits do an extra damage. She's got this flintlock pistol that is a free attack. So once per fight, she can have a range 5 with a shot 1, or 1 shot with range 5. And she hits on 5, critical hits on 5 or 6. And then she has to use a grit to ready this item again. And she's got another melee weapon, Sword of Defense. Combat hits do +1 damage. Once per fight, you may reroll one of your 2 hit rolls just used. And once per turn, you may add +2 damage to one of your combat hits. Requires agility 3 or higher, which she does have. She has agility 4. She's got another hidden dagger here, which is a free attack that she gets to do once per turn. This is her starting card that she started with. I forget what they're called now. But that allows her to have all of her combat hits or +1 damage against enemies who have an initiative equal to or lower than your cunning. So her cunning is 5 at the moment. And then once per adventure, she can add damage equal to the cunning to one of, or equal to her cunning to one of her combat hits. So that's pretty sweet. She's got a straw hat, which gives her extra sanity. more sanity over here. She's got a sticky scroll, which lets her discard this to choose up to 3 enemy models on your map tile. Each of those models gains a bleeding marker. And then she also has this spine glove up here that gives her a range weapon. And she's got this weapon that she found, but she cannot use it yet because it requires lore 3 or higher to use. So she won't be using that one, but maybe we'll sell it later on. This one she found in the belly of the beast, and it's pretty good. Shots from it are -1 on there to hit rolls though. So, but she gets to roll 4 dice, which is pretty sweet. So that is our characters. I will forget rules, just so you know, there's a lot going on in this game. If you want to learn the game and know how it plays, I made a video on how to play this game, so you can go back and find that and watch that if you want to know how to play. I'm not going to go over that in this video. And this is the scenario we're going to do. It's the Forbidden Fortress Mission 4 called The Living World. And there's some flavor text here. It says, stories have begun to spread of a fallen fortress that is home to a stable gateway leading to a strange living world. It is said that this world is full of terrifying wonders and hideous creatures, and that the very ground you walk on is alive. Some daring explorers have returned with what appears to be living artifacts and lost relics pulled from the fleshy walls inside the beast. But there are also tales of nightmare parasites of massive size that dwell within the living tunnels, feeding on any foolish enough to enter the living world inside the belly of the beast. So yeah, I wanted to show you a mission that actually went inside the belly of the beast because it's so cool. So this mission uses the standard setup. All heroes start on the fortress entrance map tile as normal. So we start in the fortress, and then we are going to be going through a portal that takes us to the belly of the beast. So our goal is to find a gate that leads into the belly of the beast and explore the living world within the creature. Once in the belly of the beast, the heroes must find 2 clue icons, which look like this right there, to have explored the beast and successfully completed the mission. All gates lead to the belly of the beast. So there are other worlds you can go to, but in this scenario, they only lead to the belly of the beast. And any clue icons that we find inside the fortress will also make a portal in that room or a gate, in addition to any other doors. And then our objective is to find 2 of these clue tokens inside the belly of the beast once we're in there. And then we will reveal all Growing Dread cards in the stack as normal, and then the heroes must face an epic threat. And remember that anytime a normal threat card is drawn, we are going to be using the Otherworld threat cards instead. And once all enemies have been defeated, the heroes have successfully completed the mission, and we'll go over the reward and failure depending on what happens. So our Geisha is going to roll a die. She has the initiative, the higher initiative between the 2. And she rolls a 3, and she gets an automatic 1 added to that because she has the fast ability, which gives her an automatic +1 move. So she's going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which brings her to the edge of this tile, which means she is looking into the next room. So she can actually explore it. So I will draw a map card, and she gets the Burning Room. I'm not going to play with the advanced rules here. You can play with specific encounters being drawn each time you draw a room, or some of the rooms. I'm not going to do that for this playthrough, just to make it a little bit easier. And so basically we are going to be placing it here. This is where we're going to be standing from. So we're going to place that guy here like this. And now she is in both rooms. Let's zoom out just a little bit there. So now you can see that next room, and she's going to gain 5 experience for exploring the room, which I'm going to write down on a separate sheet of paper here. And then we're also going to have to move up 1 on the death track. So each time we explore a room, we're going to be moving this up. And we have to roll back the darkness at the start of our next turn, and then every turn after that. And that's going to be moving down, and if it ever reaches here, then we lose the game. But you'll see that as we go. And then we are going to be placing an exploration token onto this new revealed map tile. And after everyone is activated, then we will reveal this in the exploration phase. And she can still potentially scavenge, and she is in both rooms right now. So I think we're gonna scavenge this room, this new room, the burning room that we just revealed. Just in case our soldier over here doesn't make it into the new room, he can scavenge this room, and they'll both be scavenged that way. So that's what we'll do next. And she actually has, so this is her upgrade chart, and these two here are the ones I have upgraded with for her. So she has this twirl ability. So when she has her parasol equipped, she can reroll one of her melee to hit rolls each turn. And she has awareness. Once per turn, use a grit to cancel the effects of a single scavenge card just drawn, and then she gains 10 XP. And she also rolls an extra die for scavenging. So normally you roll 3 dice for scavenging. Any 6s will be a successful scavenge, but she gets to roll 4 dice instead of the 3. So we are going to do that and see if we successfully scavenge. So we're looking for 6s here, and she gets a 6. So she gets to successfully scavenge, which means she gets to pull a card from here, and we'll just do a little shuffle, and we'll see what she gets. Nothing here, but she will gain 10 XP for doing that. And now it is our soldier's turn, so he is going to roll to see how far he gets to move. He only rolls a 2, and he doesn't have any other extra move abilities to add to that, so he's only going to be able to move 2. So my strategy worked pretty good. He can still scavenge in this room, and you could also use a grit right here to add another dice to your move, but we're not going to do that yet. So we will let him scavenge and see if he finds anything in the entrance. So he's got 3 dice here. He finds nothing, no 6s, so that room has not been scavenged. So he could still scavenge this room on his next turn. The other thing I should have done is put a scavenged token down in this room. So now that room can no longer be scavenged. And now both of our heroes have done their turns, so now we can reveal this exploration token. And it is an encounter, and there is 1 door in this room. So if you remember from our map card, it shows 2 different doors. So in this case, we look to see how many doors the encounter token shows, and it only shows 1, so we just roll a dice. And if it's a 1 to 3, it's this door up there. And if it's 4 to 6, it's this one down there. So it is a 1 to 2, so it is going to be this guy there. And I realized that I messed up on the orientation of this already. It's going to be one of those playthroughs. It should have been like this. And then the door is going to be over here, which we will signify with our actual door that I painted up. And then this is going to just have an end cap on it here, which looks like this. And we drew boiling pots, which says a small kitchen area resides here in one corner. Though abandoned, several large pots still sit over the fire, bubbling and boiling. The smell of fetid meat hangs in the air. Peering into one of the pots, you stir it with a long-handled ladle, churning its contents to the surface. So now we have to do a luck 6 test. If successful, the hearty soup is ready to eat. Gain 25 XP, and each hero may heal 3 wounds or recover a grit. Nice. If failed, the bloated visage of a human face rises to the surface. Ew, that's gross! Peering up at you from the stew. Take 3 horror hits and add a growing dread card to the stack. Okay. So, Let's do that. So it has this symbol here, which means we have to choose a hero. And our soldier has a luck value of 4, and our geisha only has a luck value of 2. So we are going to have him do that. So he gets to roll 4 dice, and he needs to roll at least a 6, at least one of them a 6, to pass this test. So he is going to roll for that, and he gets 3 6s. Wow. Great job, soldier. You are amazing.
Just doing my job. And loving it.
And because he rolled so amazing, we each get 25 XP, and we can heal 3 wounds or recover a grit. So we start the game with 1 grit each, and our geisha has max 2 grit, our soldier has max 3 grit. So we're just going to take the grit because that is awesome. It lets us re-roll dice, and I will mark down the 25 XP on my sheet of paper over here. And now both heroes have activated. We've done the exploration phase, and now we just have to do the end of turn phase, which the only real thing we could have done is the geisha has this ability at the end of her turn. She can heal D3 sanity damage from one other adjacent hero, but we don't need to do that right now because we're fully healed. Nobody has any sanity damage, but we will hopefully remember to do that when we need to do it. So now we will end our turn, and we will roll back the darkness at the start of the next turn. Now at the start of turn 2, we will try to hold back the darkness, and we roll a 10, which is higher than 7, so we successfully hold back the darkness. And our geisha has the higher initiative, so she is going to roll for movement, and she rolls a 3, and she has +1. So you can move diagonally in this game as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's as far as she's going to make it. Our soldier did not successfully scavenge before, so we will roll for that. And he gets 0 6s, so that did not work.
Disappointed!
He did not successfully scavenge, and he just rolled a 1 for movement, which means he will get a grit. And he has max 3 grit, so he can take this, but I think I'm going to use it right now to add another die to my move because he needs to get moving. He's just distracted by everything around him.
Squirrel!
Soldier. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gets him at least a little bit closer to the geisha. And that is, we could heal some sanity damage from the soldier if he had any, because that's one of geisha's abilities, but he does not. So we're going to roll for darkness again. And we roll our 2 dice, which is a 9, which is also higher than 7. So we hold back the darkness again. Awesome. And we have successfully scavenged, so our geisha is just going to roll, and she gets a 5. So we'll just move that guy out of the way so she can go there. And she will be in, she can peek into the next room, and she draws the kitchen. So let me just go find that, and we'll bring it to the table. So we are going to place this big old tile right there. And I just removed the entrance tile. That's kind of how we're going to do it because this game's huge. The tiles are huge. You can't fit them all on the game table, which is unfortunate sometimes. So I actually orientated it the right way this time. And we're going to see how many doors it has once we uncover our exploration token at the end of the player's phase. So she could still actually try to scavenge in this room, because she is in both rooms right now. So I think she will do that. And we'll just roll them here. She gets a 6, which means she successfully scavenges. So we'll put a scavenge marker in there. And we will grab a random scavenge card. Let's take one from the middle. Why not? Ooh. And she gets a hideous discovery.
Well, that sucks.
Take 3 horror hits that do 2 sanity damage each. So she has this ability where she can actually remove a grit. So once per turn, use a grit to cancel the effects of a single scavenge card just draw and gain 10 XP. I think we're going to do that. We're just going to get rid of a grit because we have 2 of them. And we're going to cancel that scavenge card because it sucks. And then she gains 10 XP, so I wrote that down on my sheet of paper over here. And we'll just keep this card handy for when we uncover the exploration token and see how many doors there are. So that's been successfully scavenged, so now our soldier can go. And he rolls a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the end of that turn. So we will... Oh, and we have an attack and a portal. So just a single portal. So if you remember, we have 2 entrances here. So we're going to have to roll the dice to see which one it is. So the portal is over there. So I will go grab one here. And we will put a portal there. Nope, like that. And we are trying to get to the belly of the beast, so this works out really good. And then we also have an attack that we have to resolve. So that's going to be with 2 characters at level 3. That's going to be a low threat, according to the rules. And they're each going to have an elite ability added to them, which is, we're going to roll a dice and see one of these little abilities here they're gonna get for the remainder of the fight. So let's draw a threat card and see who we are fighting. And we drew these, it's really hard to pronounce these guys. The Sea Lanterns. Chinobake Lanterns. We'll just call them the Sea Lanterns from now on, and we'll go with that. So we actually have to roll the P dice. Forget what the P stands for again, but it's the big yellow dice to determine how many are going to be there, and there's going to be 5. So let me grab those and we will populate them on the board. So we are going to populate them. This is what they look like, by the way. Little lanterns with tongues and an eyeball bouncing around. So we place them like this. We space them out 1. Can't see that guy. And then we just kind of stagger like that. And the other thing I should have mentioned before is we went into another room, so we had to move our depth track up 1. So the farther we get into exploring the temple / belly of the beast, it's going to be harder to roll back the darkness every turn. And she got 5 experience. The Geisha got 5 experience for exploring this room as well. So just wanted to point that out. And also just wanted to point out, if this had been an ambush attack, the enemies would have populated directly around us. But this was just a normal attack. But if you ever see an ambush attack, that is what that means. You get ambushed. And here is their enemy sheet. So they are demons. They have the myth keyword and the construct keyword. They're small. They have an initiative of 8, so they're going to actually go before both of us. Let's just go through their abilities here. So they have jumping, so they can move through other models. Normally you can't move through other models in this game. They have a lashing tongue. When making a melee attack, it targets every adjacent hero. And explosive. When this enemy is killed, roll a d6. On the roll of a 1 or a 2, it bounces once like a bomb, and then explodes, doing d6 wounds, ignoring defense to every model in the same and adjacent spaces. If killed by an explosive or a critical hit, explodes on the roll of 1, 2, or 3 instead. And they got 4 plus for their melee roll. They move 8, so they're going to be able to go around us completely. And they roll 2 defense for each one and do 2 damage each. But they only have 3 health, 2 defense, and they're worth 20 XP each. And we're also going to have to roll a dice to see what their elite ability is. So we will place that guy there. And we will roll a die and see what we get. Let's zoom in a bit there. And we got a 4, which means they are ravenous. So they have +1 combat and +1 health, may be increased multiple times. Okay. So they have 1 more dice to roll for combat, and they actually have 1 more health. So these guys are going to have 4 health and 3 combat. I might just put some dice there to help remind me of that, because I will forget. And we don't want that. I am starting to get older, so that has become a problem. But with that, that should be the end of everything. Again, we could heal the soldier some sanity damage if he had any, but he does not. So we will end this turn and start our next turn. And first things first, we gotta hold back the darkness. And we did it again, man. We are getting good at holding back that darkness. And then our lanterns, our sea lanterns, are gonna go first, and they have a move value of 8. And so we're gonna go with the closest one first, and he is gonna go to the, well, it says a random enemy. We are gonna have him go probably to the, I guess he can go to the other side here because he could move diagonally. So this guy could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can go there. The next closest, he's going to target another hero. So this guy we're going to say is targeting the soldier. So this guy is going to target the Geisha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Although this guy could have moved here because he only moves 6, which means this guy could move here and target him. This one's targeting him. So then this one's going to move like that. And then this one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's targeting Geisha. That one's targeting the soldier. We'll just kind of move them towards them to signify who they're targeting. And now they each get to roll 3 combat dice. And they are going to do 2 damage each. So the Geisha has these 2 targeting her. So we're just going to roll the 6 dice together and see what happens. So they hit on a 4+, so they actually only got 2 hits on her, which becomes 4 damage because each hit is worth 2 damage. So the Geisha can actually roll defense against that though, and any roll of 3+ on those 2 hits, she will defend. And you always get to roll as many dice as you were hit with. So you always have a chance to defend every hit. So she's looking for some 3+. Oops, that was a 5. She blocked one of them. And in the last game when I was in town, I actually bought the Aura of Fortitude, which gives me spirit armor of 5+. So now because I took a hit and because I have spirit armor, I get to roll another die to see if my armor blocks that last hit, and it does not. So the Geisha has to take a wound, which we will give her there. And now the soldier has to take his 9 hits from these 3 lanterns over there. So let's roll for those. So I got some different colored dice here. But okay, so 4+. So 1, 2, so 3 hits are done to the soldier and 2 damage each, so that's 6 damage. But he has defense of 4+, so he can roll and try to defend them. So he's looking for 4s or higher. So he blocks one of them, and he actually has this soldier's armor, so he's got armor 6+. So he took 2 hits there. So he can still try to roll with his armor to block those hits, and he blocks one of them. So he only takes one hit as well, which is pretty sweet. So we will give him a wound as well. And now it is the Geisha's turn to whoop some lanterns. And she can hold 2 single-handed weapons. So she is going to take her Sword of Defiance and her Parasol with her. And then she also has this free attack, which says, use anytime during your move. Right, so I guess I would have to roll a move. And then I can do a free attack on her once per turn, or on an enemy, sorry, not on her. And I can do an automatic wound ignoring defense to any adjacent model. So let's start off by doing that. Let's roll a die and see how much move she gets. And I just knocked all my lanterns away. So 4 plus 1 is a 5. So, oh, but she can't move because she's stuck beside these Chocobo lanterns. And to escape them, I have to make a roll of a 5 plus. So, I don't know, I guess we could try to make an escape roll. So let's do that. Okay, so I rolled a 6. So I do get to escape, and then I rolled that 4, which means I could move. I think I kind of want to stay there, though. I'll just move back. And then it lets me do a free attack to one adjacent enemy. So let's attack this guy over here. So we'll give him a wound. Because he is adjacent to both of us, we'll try to take him out. And then we will use our one of our melee weapons here. And I think we'll use her Sword of Defiance because my combat hits are +1 damage. And anytime I would kill an enemy, every other enemy adjacent to it takes a wound, ignoring defense. And once per fight, I can reroll one of my 2-hit rolls. And I can also add 2 damage to one of my combat hits or reroll a single defense roll. And requires agility 3 or higher to use. I do have that. So let's use our Sword of Defiance for this attack. And I actually get, I started the game with 2 combat dice, but that's been upgraded to 3. That's why that dice is there, just to remind me. So I will get to roll 3 dice, and I'm trying to hit, or trying to acquire 4s and up to hit those lanterns. So let's roll for those quick. So I get to roll 3 dice, and 2 of them hit. And I can assign these hits separately as well. You don't have to assign them to the same enemy. And I can actually reroll as well. And I can reroll once more because, oh no, that's only if I have my Parasol equipped. So I don't get to reroll again. But that was my ability that I got that's attached to my Sword of Defiance. So I did get 2 hits, which means we're going to assign 1 to each of those lanterns beside me. So my first hit does 3 damage, plus my combat hits are +1 damage. And once per turn I can add 2 damage to one of my combat rolls. So will we do that now? I already got 4, which isn't quite enough to kill. I need 6 to kill because they have 2 defense. So I think we will do that now. We will add the 2. So we're getting 6 defense, and we'll take out, let's take out this guy. And then if you remember that they are exploding, so they like to blow up. So when this enemy is killed, we roll a d6. If we roll a 1 or a 2, it's going to bounce like a bomb and then explode. So let's roll for that quick. So we don't want a 1 or a 2, we get a 3, so he does not explode. Yay! And then my second hit is 2 damage plus the 1 damage. And I will assign it to this guy here. So 3 damage minus the 2 defense. So I do 1 more hit to this guy there. And now it is the soldier's turn to go, and he has a combat value of 5. So he's going to roll 5 dice and hopefully get some hits. He's got to roll 4s or higher in order to get those hits. And he is going to use his Fallen Blade for this attack. He gets +1 combat, which I've already factored in. And once per turn, discard a Darkstone to add 2 damage to one of your combat hits. I don't have any Darkstone on him. But my attacks are +1 damage against myth enemies. And these guys just happen to be myth enemies. So that's great. And we're going to roll our 5 dice. And we're looking for 4 pluses. Oh wow, we got 4 hits. Woohoo! So we can split those hits up. And let's figure out who we're going to attack first. And I should say that 6s are critical hits, which means they ignore defense when you attack with them. So we're going to save that one for someone special. So maybe we'll do that one last, but let's figure out who we're going to attack first. So he's got 3 enemies around him, and this guy's got 2 wounds on him already. So maybe we want to attack him and try to take him out. So we will roll one of our hits for him. Let's see what we roll. I'll just roll it here. We roll a 1. Are you kidding me?
You are one pathetic loser.
So plus the 1 damage that my bonus gives me, which only is enough to, just gets absorbed by his defense. So that roll was useless. So let's attack him again with another die. And this time we roll a 6 plus 1 is 7. Minus 2 is 5 hits. He is uber dead. But if you remember, we do have to roll a die. And on a 1 or a 2, that's a 6 again, he would explode like a bomb. Next we will target this guy over here with our last normal hit. Oh, and we roll 5 plus 1 is 6 damage. Minus the 2 defense is 4 hits, which is enough to kill this guy. And we roll to see if he explodes, and he does. Okay. So he is going to bounce in the same way that a bomb would bounce. So we're going to roll an 8-sided die. And to see where he's going to bounce, he just bounces once. Bombs will bounce up to 3 times, I believe. Or you roll that, a D3, and that's how many times it bounces. But these guys just bounce once. So let's see which direction he is going to bounce, and it is a 3. So he would actually bounce this way up here, but he can't, so I'm going to say that he would go over here, and then he explodes, and he does D6 wounds, ignoring defense to every model in the same and adjacent spaces. So he's going to attack this guy and the soldier with D6 hits. Okay, so he's only, sorry, that was a 1. He's only going to do 1, and my soldier can defend against that. But he needed a 4+, so he is going to give him a wound, or he's going to get a wound. So I will give that to him there. But now this guy is done, and 1 hit isn't enough to actually do any damage to this guy because he absorbs it with his defense. And the soldier gained 20 experience for killing each of those guys. And the Geisha also gained 20 experience for killing this one here. And then now we will use our last critical hit on this guy here. And we will see what we roll. And we roll 5 damage. That's critical. That ignores defense. So that is enough to take out this lantern that has 4 health. And then we have to see if it explodes. It does. And where does it go? We roll a 5. So it is going to go down in this direction and blow up, and nobody's adjacent to him, so nobody cares. And the soldier gets 20 experience for killing that guy, and that is the soldier's turn. That is the geisha's turn. Now it's just end of turn stuff, which I don't think anything happens. No sanity damage on anyone yet, so no healing needs to happen there. And should we move her towards the camera? She likes the camera. So now we will end this turn and go back to the roll for darkness phase. Now we gotta roll for that pesky darkness. And we roll back the darkness again. This is amazing. I've never rolled this good against the darkness. Usually I'd be over here by now. And when you do hit these blood splatters, you have to draw a darkness card, which is usually always something bad. And I've been trying to show you those, but we keep rolling so amazing that it's not happening. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And if you remember, the lanterns have an initiative of 8, so they are gonna go first, and they can move over models or through models. So I think he's gonna end up moving there, so he can be adjacent to both, because he likes us both, you know. And he is going to attack, we'll say, the geisha, because he likes her more. And he gets to roll 3 dice and doing 2 hits each on 4+. So let's see if he hits her. He hits her once, so she will take 2 damage, but she gets to roll, and she rolls defense on 3+, and she defended them both swimmingly. Good job, Geisha. And so she takes 0 hits from that guy, and that is his turn over. Now it is the geisha's turn. And she's going to try to escape again, so she can move and give him another free attack. And she rolls a 6, which is higher than 5, so she gets to escape. And then she is going to do a roll. And she is going to just move there back again. And then she gets to do a free attack to him because of my lovely hidden dagger that I didn't tell the lantern I had. And that's super fun. And I'm going to use the Sword of Defiance again so that my combat hits are +1 damage. And I can reroll one of my 2-hit rolls. So let's go roll for those. So I get 3 dice here, and I need to roll 4s or higher. I get 2 hits, and I get to reroll this one. Nice! I get 3 hits, which I don't think I'm going to need them all. So let's just roll them all together for fun. There's no criticals. So I get 11 plus 2 is 13, plus each one of those has +1 damage. He's dead.
You want to be a farmer?
Here's a couple of acres.
But the pesky little guy won't go out without a fight, so he is going to not blow up. Okay. He's a sad, sorry little bomb who couldn't blow up. And that is the end of the lanterns. So we will remove those and those. And I guess the geisha went already. She moved and attacked. So now the soldier can move closer to that portal over there. So he will roll for his move. And he rolls a 6, finally. He's getting pretty close to that portal. And then the other thing we gotta do... Oh, and the geisha would have got 20 experience points for killing that last guy. I don't think I missed any, but maybe I did. But then we also get to draw loot cards for every enemy that you fought after a battle like that. You get to draw 1 loot card for every enemy in the battle. So let's draw that. And the great part is each hero gets to draw one of these. And these are super fun. You can get gear and artifact cards, which are great. So this will be for the geisha. She gets 50 gold and 20 XP, so I'll mark that down. And our soldier just gained this card, which lets him draw a gear card. Or if we're in, or an artifact if in another world, which we're so close to the other world. And he also gets 20 XP, so I will draw a gear card for him and see what he gets. So let's draw him a gear card. And he gets a gun. Ooh. Range 8, one shot. Use the D8 for damage. Ooh, and it's worth 400 bucks. We can sell that later. He does already have a gun. That's pretty good. But it doesn't hurt to have more guns, right? And before we start the next turn, I just wanted to clarify. The rulebook says at the end of every fight, each hero is allowed to draw one loot card for each threat card that added enemies to the fight. So it's not how many enemies were in the fight, it's how many threat cards added enemies to the fight, to a maximum of 3. And we can also catch our breath. So each hero is allowed to catch your breath at the end of every fight, healing D3 wounds or sanity, any mix. If the fight ended before the hero got to activate or take any actions, he instead gets to heal D6 wounds or recover a grit. And the soldier, on that last round, he did not get to activate and fight an enemy. So he actually gets to roll either D6 wounds or recover a grit. And the Geisha gets to roll D3 wounds. So let's roll for those quick. So the Geisha, this is going to be a D3. So that is a 3-4, which becomes 2 hits. She gets to heal, and she only had 1 anyway. And he is going to get, I think he will just roll a D6 instead of taking the grit. So he heals 3 damage, and he had 2, so now he is back to full health. Right on. And of course, we got to roll for that pesky darkness, and our luck finally ran out. We rolled a 6, and we needed a 7, so there we go. So the next time we fail to roll it back, we will gain one of those darkness cards, which aren't amazing. And now for the next turn, the Geisha has higher initiative than the soldier, so she is going to roll, and she rolls a 5 plus 1 for her fast ability. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this room has already been scavenged, so that is basically the end of her turn. And the old soldier there rolls a 1 and gets a grit back. So that's what makes, it fun. Even if you roll sucky, you at least get something good. And he can only go 1 anyway. And then he's got to, we're going to peek into the portal and see what's on the other side. And I just kind of rearranged some things here to make things fit better. But he drew the cocoon chamber. Ooh, sounds scary. And I found that guy here. So it says to put the portal token right there. So we are gonna put it the right way. And it's gonna go there. Look at that cool artwork on that beast belly, or whatever part of the beast we're in there. And we got to, of course, draw an exploration token for it, which we will put on there. And that was the end of both their turns, and the soldier gets 5 experience points for exploring that. And we get to see what this is now. Oh, so it's got one of those clue tokens, and we're looking for 2 of those. It's got 1 door. So we can roll to see which door it's going to be, and it's going to be this one down here. So we will put a door there, and we actually have these cool, gross, fleshy looking doors that look like a lot of fun. So we get to put those there, and then we get to put an end cap there, signifying that there is no door there. Okay, and that is the end of our turns. So we are going to go back and roll for the darkness. But before we do that, we do have to resolve these 2 encounters. Almost forgot about those. So let's do that now. I'll draw 2 of them and we'll resolve them. So our first encounter says sphincters in the wall. I don't want any sphincters in the wall. Large dripping orifices are embedded in the walls around this chamber. Some quiver as they ooze, while others are tightly constricted, bulging from something held tightly within. Ugh. Gross. Ew, that's gross! Each hero must choose to pry one open. Yuck. Why are we doing that? Strength 5, a successful draw. Loot card. Ooh, what kind of loot are we going to find in the sphincter? Pulled from the dripping hole. If failed, you are squirted with acidic slime. Gain a bleeding marker. Yuck. Don't get too close. You may heal D3 sanity, or wounds or sanity, any mix as you keep your distance. Okay. Is that if we pass? I'm guessing? Oh, those are our options. Sorry. We get to pry one open, potentially get a loot card, or just try to heal some wounds. We are totally going to open those sphincters up. We're going to rip them open and find some loot. So let's roll for that. So each hero, I think, is going to try to do this. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that works, because technically he is in both rooms now because of the portal. So I guess only the people who are in the room can do this. So I guess only the soldier would be able to do this, because the geisha is not actually there yet, which is okay. So our soldier is going to try to rip open the sphincter, and that's totally not the right roll. So he has strength of 3. I don't know what I was doing there. He gets to roll 3 dice, and he's trying to roll 5 or higher. And he does. He rolls a 5 and gains some sphincter loot. So we will grab a loot card and see what we gained. So, what did the sphincter have in store for us? Nothing but a Darkstone shard. Ooh, that would hurt coming out. And then you get 20 experience points as well. So I'll mark that down and we will do the next encounter. And the next encounter for the soldier is 1,000,000 tongues. The walls and floor of this chamber are lined with writhing tongues of all sizes. As you step through the mass of fleshy tendrils, the tongues twist and lick at anything that comes into reach. Each hero must roll a number of dice equal to their spirit. For each of these dice that rolls higher than that hero's agility value, place a sanity marker by the depth track. After all heroes have rolled, remove all sanity from the depth track and add a growing dread card to the stack for each set of 3 sanity that were removed. Okay, so our spirit for the soldier is 3, and our agility is 2. Okay, so let's roll for that. And then we roll 3s or higher. So we did roll 1 3. So we have to put a sanity marker beside the depth track. But I don't think it's really going to matter, because after all heroes have rolled, remove all sanity from the depth track and add a growing dread card to the stack for each set of 3 sanity that were removed. So only 1 was removed, so we are good. So not the worst encounters ever. And that will now conclude our turn. Okay, and I was just looking in the rules a bit, and I found that everyone in the fortress has to do these encounters, not just the ones who are in the room. I don't know what I was thinking. So we're going to have to do these 2 for the geisha as well. And so she is going to roll for this strength 5 test. Oh, maybe she won't, because she only has 1 dice. Her strength value is only 1. So maybe she will just do this bottom one instead. May heal D3 wounds, sanity, any mix as you keep your distance. So she's just going to do that. She doesn't have any sanity or health to heal, but I don't want to risk gaining a bleeding marker. And then for this one here, she just has to roll 3 dice and roll 5 or higher, which is gonna make those sanity markers go by the depth track there, and she didn't roll any 5 or higher, so we are good. And then I also wanted to mention that I moved this marker up here 1 more because we had explored another room, so that's why that moved up. And then we are gonna roll our 2 dice to see if we hold back the darkness. And we horribly fail with a 3, so we are gonna have to draw a darkness card. And we drew Horrors Beyond Measure. And it says the power of darkness seems to grow with every passing moment. Every hero immediately loses all grit. And that majorly sucks because we had 3 grit on our soldier and 1 grit on our Geisha. So we lost 4 grit. That's crazy. Stupid darkness. And I think our soldier, we still have to spend a move to go from there to there, so we'll do that on his turn. He's still peeking into the other room, so I think he's still considered in both for purposes of that. But here's our roll for our Geisha. Ooh, 6 plus 1 is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And she can try to scavenge in this room. So let's roll for that. She gets 4 dice because of her specialness. And she rolled 1, 6. So she does get to scavenge. Once, anyway. And we don't have any grit to cancel this. So whatever it is, if it sucks, it's going to suck. Ooh, a small find. $50. Nice. That's better than a sphincter full of whatever. And she gets 10 XP. So I'll go mark that down and we'll continue on with the soldier's turn. And now the soldier will do his turn. Oh, and she successfully scavenged. So we'll put a scavenge token in there. And he gets a 3. Not quite as good as the Geisha's 7. 1, 2, 3. But it is what it is, and we can't even add any grit to it because stupid darkness card stole our grit. But that is basically that round. So now we'll go back and roll for the darkness. And so we are going to roll back the darkness, hopefully better than the last time. Oh, and I should have moved this there on the last turn. Gotta do all the steps. And we did. We rolled a 7, so we are good. And now it will be the Geisha's turn. And she is quite obviously just going to try to make it to the other room, and she has got a 5, which I think should get her there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. These are really nice and all, but they kind of take up a lot of room and aren't super practical, but they look really cool. So she is going to be able to pick up a room card and peek into the next room and see where in the belly of the beast we're headed to next. So I will grab a map card. And we get the tasting room. Ooh, right after the sphincter room. Okay, so I'll go grab that card and we will put it on the board. So I've placed it out and I just kind of rearranged some things a bit to make things fit again. We got to place our exploration token down on there. And we will find out how many doors there are in this room. And she can also scavenge in here because it has not been scavenged yet. So she kind of feels bad for always scavenging before the soldier, but she's way quicker than him. He's just kind of a slowie. So she rolls 1, 6, so she does get to scavenge, and we will put a successfully scavenged token on there. And she pulled a small find again. Why aren't you focusing? There we go. Small find, 10 XP and $25. So I will mark that down and get on with the soldier's turn. And our good old soldier is just enjoying himself way too much in the sphincter room. And he rolls a 1, which is great because he gets another grit back. Unfortunately, he only rolls 1. But that's okay. I kind of want to build up my grit again. So I think we'll just leave it at that. And we will uncover this exploration token and see what it is. So we have an attack with 1 door in the room, or 1 exit, I guess. And so let's roll and see where that's going to be. And it is a 1, so it's going to be over there. So we will put our door token there, and we will put one of those there. And now we will see what our attackers are, or who our attackers are. And when you are in the other world, there's a deck of otherworld threats specific to the belly of the beast. And we have drawn a skin crawler. Living within the mucus and muscle walls of the beast, the skin crawlers are massive parasitic worms that burrow through flesh and bone, erupting up from pools of slime to devour their prey in one massive bite. Yikes. And so we have 1 to 2 heroes, so we are going to spawn 1 skin crawler. That's nice. So here is our skin crawler, ready to eat us up. And we only get the 1, so he is actually going to spawn over there, and it's not an ambush attack, so it's not going to go right beside the Geisha. And that is the end of the turn. We can't heal any sanity from the soldier because he's not next to us. And so we will continue on with the darkness step. And before we do that, we also got to move this up 1 because we explored another room. And the Geisha is also going to get 5 XP for exploring. And we are going to roll for the darkness. And we horribly ran from the darkness and did not hold it back. And we move that up 1 more. So the next time it happens, we're going to get another one of those darkness cards, which is most likely going to suck. And now we will continue on with our hero's turn / enemy's turns. And I got to find that board for that enemy, and we'll see who goes first. And here is our skin crawler card. So they are large. They have the beast keyword. Initiative 3 though, so both of our characters will go before it. But a hero starting their activation on the same tile automatically takes a horror hit. So the Geisha is already on that tile, so she's going to take a horror hit, but she will be able to roll against it by rolling a 4+ to defend against it. Sticky Mucus, hero starting their activation adjacent to this enemy is -2 move. Parasitic Leech, this enemy gains +1 combat for each remains in play encounter, including passage encounters affecting the map tile that it is currently on. That is great because we do not have any remains in play encounter cards at the moment. And Regeneration 2, heals 2 wounds at the start of the turn. And it shows a range value here, but it doesn't have a range ability in here. But I did notice on the elite chart that this number 6 here, Spitting Bile, does have a range shot. I think that only applies if we roll this 6, and we do have to roll a dice to add one of these abilities because we are level 3 heroes. So let's roll for that and see what we get. And we got a 4, which means it is a fibrous tendons. It has fibrous tendons, which adds 10 health. So it used to have 20 health, now it has 30 health. That's kind of like a boss. And these work a little bit differently. You get 5 experience points for hitting it, and then 5 experience points for each hit. So that's how that works. So the Geisha starts her turn on the tile that Skin Crawler is on. So she has to take a horror hit, and she can roll. If she rolls a 4+, she defends against it, and she rolled a 4+. Nice, good job, Geisha. And she gets to go first because the Skin Crawler's initiative is 3. And she has an ability that says all of your combat hits. So this was her initial skill card, or whatever it's called. All of your combat hits are +1 damage against enemies that have initiative equal to or lower than your cunning. And my cunning is at 5 right now. So I get to add an extra damage against this Skin Crawler. And then once per adventure, I can add damage equal to my cunning. So I can add basically 5 more hits to one of my hits. But I think I'm going to save that for the final encounter with the final boss character. But I do 1 extra damage. And I think I'm going to use my parasol weapon for this attack. Well, assuming I can get to the skin crawler first. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. And I don't. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well that stinks. I was kind of hoping she was going to roll good. But I guess she can still use this. She has a flintlock pistol that is a free attack once per fight. And it critical hits on 5s or 6s. If I actually hit with it though, then I'll have to use a grit to ready this again. And I don't have any grit, but it's got range 5 and I get 1 shot. So let's try that. So I'll just rotate it to show that I've used it, and I got to roll a 4 or higher to hit with it. And I majorly sucked.
You are one pathetic loser.
So I think I just do not get to re-roll anything because it's my parasol I get to re-roll. But let me just take a look here. Yeah, no, I don't have any way to re-roll that. So she just misses. You suck. She's not very good with the gun, but that's okay. We are hoping the soldier will be a bit better. But he's still way over here in Sphincter La La Land, and he only rolls a 3. 1, 2, 3. I think he is going to use his grit now. Actually, though, maybe he won't, because he's got his flintlock rifle. It has range of 10, and it has 2 shots. And we can totally see him, and we're within range, so he is going to shoot his gun at the old skin crawler there. And so he gets 2 dice. And he needs to roll, he's really good with the range, 3 or higher gets a hit for him. So he gets 1 hit for sure. Yeah, and I don't have any way to re-roll this one. So he gets 1 hit anyway. But he gets, I get to roll this guy for damage and add 1 to it. So let's roll for that. So I get 3 plus 1 is 4. It's not really that great. He's got 2 defense, so he takes 2 wounds. But he's gonna heal that as soon as his turn starts. Dang it! And now he is gonna go, as he's got his initiative 3. He is gonna move up to 7, and he is going to. He's closest to the Geisha, so he is gonna go beside her here and attack her. So he gets 1 dice, but it does 10 damage. And he rolls, he hits on a 4 plus. And of course, he rolls a 5. So that's 10 hits that my Geisha's got to take. So she gets to roll defense on all those at least. So these are all her hits. Or sorry, these are the defense for her hits. So she defends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those, which is great. So she only takes 3 wounds, and she has that spirit armor that I told you about before of 5 plus. So these 3 hits, as long as she rolls a 5 plus on these, she will block these as well. So she blocks 1 of them. So she takes 2 hits. So we will give her 2 wounds like that. And I do have some healing herbs and stuff that I can use to heal myself if bad things continue to happen to her. But that was the skin crawler's turn. Hopefully we can kill this thing before it does any more crazy damage to us. And with that, we will roll for the darkness and start a new turn. So we will roll back the darkness, and we do not, which means we have to draw another darkness card. And the skin crawler would have healed these 2 wounds as well at the start of her turn. That's one of her abilities. And the darkness card we draw is in Darkness Shadow. Draw a Growing Dread card and add it to the stack for each clue that has been revealed so far. So we've revealed, let me take a quick peek here. We've just revealed one clue token so far. So we have to draw a Growing Dread card and add it to the stack, and those get revealed in the final showdown, basically. So here's our Growing Dread that we are going to have to add and reveal to the stack. And, reveal when we make it to the final room. And that is all that is going to do. So we will discard that guy, and we will get on with our turns. The Geisha is going to try to escape, and she does not, so I don't get to move and use my free attack on this thing. But that's okay. She is going to use her parasol little umbrella weapon thing. And I got some upgrades to it that let her do +1 damage against large enemies. And my melee critical hits do +1 damage, except to undead, construct, or robot enemies. So we should be good there. So if I roll any criticals, I'll do an extra damage. And then I also get the extra damage because the enemy's initiative is lower than my cunning. So we are going to get 3 dice, and we are rolling on 4 pluses to get some hits here. And because I have my parasol equipped, I get to re-roll one of those. Because right now she's got 0 hits, and she gets 1 hit. That's really good. And before, actually, I have this ability here. Sorry, not on there, on my parasol. That says I can re-roll a failed defense or escape roll. So I'm going to also do that, because then I might be able to get an extra hit free attack. And I did roll much better this time. And the escape value on this skin crawler is 4. So I rolled a 5. So now I will get to roll for movement. And I get a 4. I was kind of hoping for a 1 to get a grip back. But that lets me take a free attack on her because of my hidden dagger, and give it a wound, a free wound there. And then I get to roll my 1 attack that I did, which does 3 damage +1 +1. So 5 damage in total, and it's got 2 defense, so 3 hits. Not the best. Hopefully the soldier can do a little bit better. And then the soldier will go next, and he has an ability. I'll just show you here. Soldier's hand, if you do not move during your activation, you get to add a shot to any 2-handed gun you attack with. And so we are going to do that totally. He's just not going to move, and he's going to get an extra shot with his gun because he had more time to reload it, I guess. So he is going to roll for those right now. And he's looking for 3 pluses, so he gets 2 hits at least. So he gets to roll these. Oh, and we should have got experience for the Geisha there. So she would have got 5 experience for hitting with that free attack, plus another 5 for the wound that she did. And then for this hit she just did, she would have got another 5 experience plus 15 for those 3 wounds she did there. So she would have got a total of 30 experience points. And then on the last turn as well, I forgot to mark their experience, so I will do that now. Lot of things to remember in this game. So the soldier's 1 hit here. So he's going to get 5 experience points because he hit. And then for every wound he does, he's going to get another one. So that's 4 + 1 because you get an extra damage for using that gun. So that's 5 damage minus his 2 shields. That's 3 wounds. And that's another 20 experience points for him. And his next one, let's be a 6. A 1? Are you kidding me? Oh no, sorry. We roll this dice. Yes, a 6. Plus 1 is 7. Minus 2 is 5 more hits. So that is another 25 plus 5, 30 experience points for the soldier. And we are slowly working our way down on this guy. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12 hits out of 30. Not even half dead yet. And now he is going to get to do his turn. So at the start of his turn, he is going to heal 2 wounds, because that is just his annoying, stupid ability. And then the Geisha started her turn on the same tile as him. So she should have actually got a horror hit, which I will roll for. And she did not stop it, so it goes... she gets a sanity damage on her character board. And now it says that it's got this burrowing ability that says it moves through other models and changes targets each turn. So he's actually going to focus on the soldier this time. And he can go 1, 2, 3, 4 to be adjacent to the soldier. And he is going to attack with 1 dice, hitting on a 4+ and doing 10 damage. And of course, he rolls and gives him 10 damage. So we're going to roll for that. So he defends on 4 pluses. So let's hope he rolls really good. And not so good. Holy cow, he only stopped 2 of those. So that's 8 damage he's going to take. But he does have armor of 6. So we are going to get to roll 8 dice and try to block those with our armor now. But we have to roll 6s. So we rolled 3 of them. So that's pretty good. We eliminated the 3, so we're just left with 5. So we will give the soldier 5 damage. So he has got 5 damage, and our Geisha's got 2 damage or wounds. And that is all he is gonna do. And now we will move back on to the roll back the darkness step. So we will roll back the darkness, hopefully. And we just barely did. We got a 7, and now we will go on to our turns. So the Geisha is gonna roll for move, and she gets a 1, which is not what we wanted. Because she can't reach him. So I'm just going to use my grit that I just got. And we're going to roll again so I can try to get... There we go. Try to get adjacent to it so I can actually attack it. And I'm going to use my parasol umbrella again. So I get 3 dice to potentially roll hits on. And I get to re-roll one of those. Nice! I actually get 3 hits on this thing. And each hit is going to do 2 extra damage. So that's fun. So I might as well, I'm attacking the same guy, I might as well just roll all these and add 6 damage to it. 2 for each hit. Oh, nice. So we get 10, 11, 12... 13 plus 6 is 19 hits, minus 2 defense for each of those. So minus 6 defense. So 13 hits, though. That's pretty dang good. So let's give it 10, 1, 2, 3. And now the soldier hopefully can finish him off this turn, and I will give him give her experience for that. So she's going to get 80 experience points for all those hits and wounds. And he is down to 23 hits. So the soldier, if he can manage to rock out 7 more hits, he will knock this thing out. So we will do his turn next. And he is going to do... I think he's going to use his Fallen Blade again. Once per turn, discard a Darkstone to add 2 damage. Your attacks are +1 damage against myth enemies. This is not a myth enemy, though. But that's okay, but his combat value is 5 for melee. So he can roll 5 hits, and he rolls... he actually hits on 4 pluses. Oh man, but he only got 1 hit out of that, but it's critical, which is good. That ignores the defense of the skin crawler. I can't believe that though. I got only 1 hit, but we will roll for that critical hit and see how much damage we do. So we do 4 damage. Even if we discarded our only dark stone, we would still only do 6, and it would not be dead, which is really horrible. But let me just look here. I did buy an Aura of Wrath when I was in the town phase last. I just have it marked down here, which means I can do d6 damage, add d6 damage to 1 hit. So I think we're gonna do that because this is a critical hit. So we did the 4 damage, and then I'm gonna use it and roll a d6 to add another 4 to that hit, which is enough to kill him. Yay!
Just a flesh wound.
I just really wanted to get rid of that thing so it wouldn't have to attack us again with that 10 damage. Is so stinking horrible. And then he would have healed too. And oh, and we also started turns. I guess just the soldier started his turn adjacent to the skin. So he should have got a horror hit. So he is going to roll for that now. He needs to roll 4 plus. So he was able to hold that back and defend against it. And we will move on to the next round. But first, we have to mark down that he got 45 experience for those hits. And favorite part of the game, or one of them, is loot cards. And we had 1 threat card that gave us enemies, so we each get to draw a loot card. So this will be, since the soldier gave the finishing blow, we'll let him take the first one. And he gets blood money, so he gets 20 XP, and he gets to roll a d6 and add 25 gold for everything rolled. So let's do that now. He only rolled 2, so he gets 50 gold. And then our Geisha is going to get 100 gold and 20 XP. So I'll mark that down. And we also get to catch our breath at the end of every fight. So we get to roll a d3, which just makes, cuts this d6 in half. So the soldier is going to roll, and you can heal sanity or wounds or any mix. So he gets to heal 1 wound. Change that 5 to a 4. Not exactly what I was hoping for. And the Geisha also gets to do the same. She gets to heal both of her wounds. Nice. And she also has an ability to, this is the Geisha. She can heal a sanity from herself or an adjacent hero. So she has 1 sanity damage right now, so she is also going to heal that. And we will get on with the next turn. And of course, we got to roll back the old darkness, and we do it this time with a 10, which is quite lovely. And now we will move on to the Geisha's turn. And she is going to roll for move, and she rolls a 1 and gets a grit back, which is pretty great. But not through the door, I guess. And our soldier is also going to roll, and she also gets move plus 1. That's her fast ability, which I don't want to forget about. And then our good old trusty soldier only rolled a 3, so he is just going to be there. And the room's already been scavenged, so there's not much else we can really do. So we will move on to the next turn. And we roll back the darkness again. Oh, and we do it again. Yes, we are rolling awesome on that. And now we'll go back to their turns. And I just rearranged some things there just in anticipation of the next room coming out. And the Geisha is going to roll, wow, a 6. She definitely makes it to the door. And I can't move in because that is how it works, I believe. So she kind of wastes her extra movement there. But that's okay, we get to explore another room in the old beast. And she drew the thermal pouch. So I will go find that tile and we'll add it to the board. And we'll also move this guy up one more. So one more room and we got to roll 8 pluses to hold back the darkness. And here's our thermal pouch. Looks pretty gross. And that is her turn. I guess she can, well, we'll put an exploration token on it first. And she could scavenge there because she is in the room. So why not? And she successfully scavenges. She's got 1/6 there, so she gets to draw 1 scavenge card. And let's hope this is good. Chilling Dread. 10 XP. Draw a Growing Dread card and add it to the stack. You know what? I think I'm going to use my Geisha's ability and use my grit to get rid of that. Because I do not want another Growing Dread card on the stack. That was a horrible search find there. But that room is now scavenged. And we will move on with our soldier's turn. He rolls a 3 again. 1, 2, 3, but at least he's in the room. And we get to, now they both activated, so now we get to see what this is. And it is just an encounter, and it's got 1 door, which is great because we only have 1 door. So I will draw an encounter card and we will see what happens. And yeah, there are special Billy the Beast encounters too. And it says, egg nest. Thick egg sacs fill the room here, clutched into bundles nested in the walls. At the base of each nest, or at the base of each, rests a pool of melted remains deposited by some creature to feed its young. Gross. So we can choose one of these. We can search the melted remains. Cunning 5. If successful, draw a loot card. Ooh, if failed, take D3 wounds, ignoring defense. Gain a bleeding marker as you're burned by the acid. Destroy the eggs. Each hero gains 40 XP but must spend a grit or move the darkness 1 space forward on the depth track, or just get out of here. Luck 4. If successful, gain 10 XP. If any hero failed, ambush, attack, draw an epic threat. Yuck. Well, our Geisha is definitely going to do the cunning. Because she has got cunning 5, so she gets to roll 5 dice and hopefully roll a 5. So let's do her first. So she is looking for a 5 at least. Oh no, she didn't roll a single 5. That's horrible. So she takes D3 wounds, ignoring defense, and gain a bleeding marker as you're burned by the acid. So bleeding markers basically take your total health down by 3. So they're not great. And she doesn't have a grit to re-roll either. So that was really horrible. Kind of hoping she would have rolled at least 1 5 with 5 dice. But we will give her that bleeding marker now, and we'll do the D3 wounds. Okay, so she only takes 1 at least, but we ignore defense, so we don't get to roll defense on it. And then I'll give her a bleeding marker. So here is our bleeding marker, and we will give it to her. And now we got to make a choice for the old soldier. And the soldier's cunning is 3, so he'd get to roll 3 dice, but I think he's just going to destroy the eggs and spend his grit so he doesn't have to move the darkness 1 space forward. So he's just going to do that. He's just going to gain the 40 XP and spend his grit, because he had 1 grit that he had gained. And he is going to get 40 XP. Okay, So that was our encounter for that. So now that's basically the end of that round. And we are going to go back to the darkness phase. And we are going to roll back the darkness. Ooh, we rolled double sixes. Okay, so that's something special that happens. When we roll doubles on rolling back the darkness, I can't remember if we rolled doubles before now, but we get to roll on we get to look at a chart, basically, that tells us something good or something bad. So there's this depth event chart. So whenever we roll doubles, we look to see which world we're in. So we're not in the fortress, we are in the other world, Belly of the Beast. And because we rolled double sixes, it says every step you take in this living world is a struggle for survival as you fend off the nightmarish creatures and burning acids that inhabit the belly of this massive beast. Each hero may recover grit up to their max. Hello, that's awesome. KO'd heroes may immediately recover, rolling for their injury madness and healing 2d6 wounds. Well, we don't have any KO'd heroes, so that's good. But we get our grit fully restored. That is like the most amazing thing that could have happened. So we will give them their full grit, which was great because old Soldier Boy didn't have any, and neither did the Geisha. So now she's got 2 grit, and he's got 3, and that was a great darkness phase. Awesome. And next our Geisha is going to roll and see how far she moves. So she rolls a 3, so she gets to move 4 spaces because of her flying ability. And she's just going to go there. Room's already been scavenged, so she's going to just be done. And the soldier rolled a 2. Not really that exciting of a turn. Again, everything's been scavenged. So we're going to go back to the darkness phase. And we roll a 7, which is still enough to hold back the darkness until we explore one more room. Okay, on to the Geisha's turn. Now she should hopefully be able to make it to this door this turn. Oh yeah, beautifully. And so we'll maybe just move this guy out of the way. We are going to grab another room card. And of course, we grabbed the massive sphincter room. This is just the theme of this game is sphincters. Apparently we attract them wherever we go and whatever we do. But I'll go grab that tile and we'll air down. So here's the sphincter. And that is one disgusting looking sphincter. Yuck.
We're going through the big one.
The devil's anus.
Sorry, guys. Geisha and Soldier, you gotta walk through that. And our Geisha's gonna get 5 experience for exploring. And we are also moving up the depth track. So now we gotta roll 8+ in order to hold back the darkness. And we are going to place our exploration token in there, of course. And our Geisha is in the sphincter room. So she can actually scavenge. So she's going to roll 4 dice. Holy cow, she scavenges 3 times. Amazing. And she's got grit now. She can use to cancel any of these with her special ability that she has. So first card, Emerging Darkness. Draw a darkness card. Awesome. That's just what we wanted. And we could cancel this with a grit, but I think we'll just let it stand. Oh, actually, you know what? I keep forgetting about this, but our soldier has an ability. Oh no, that's not it. His family crest, which lets him cancel a darkness card. So we're totally going to use that and cancel this darkness card. It doesn't say when I can cancel a darkness card. So even if it's her scavenge, I think I'm allowed to do that. So we're going to do that anyway. She still gets 10 XP for that card. And then we're going to draw another one. And she gets a small find, 50 bucks and 10 XP, not bad. And the last one is a hideous discovery. Okay, we're gonna use one of her grits to cancel that one. Well, that scavenging session was mostly junk, but but this room is now scavenged successfully. And now our soldier is gonna go. He's still kind of hanging out over in whatever room that was again. Tasting room? Bile room? I don't know, something like that. And he rolls a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now he is in the room with us. And he is adjacent to the Geisha. So if he had sanity damage, she would be able to she would be able to heal him. But he doesn't, so we're going to skip that. And we get to look at our exploration token, which is an attack. Oh, but it's got the clue token on it, which means we found our second clue token inside the belly of the beast. We are going to read what happens. So it says the second clue in the beast. When the heroes find the second clue icon in the belly of the beast, they have reached the objective for exploring this other world. Ignore any attacks or encounters listed on the final exploration token, so we don't have to worry about that attack. And we ignore any doors because there's no exits. We reveal all the growing dread cards in the stack, which there is only one. And then heroes must face an epic threat. And then anytime a normal threat card would come out, we draw from the otherworld threat card. Because some of the epic threat cards will tell you to bring so many low threats out, low, medium, or high. So we would take those from the otherworld threat deck. And then our reward, we basically just have to defeat all the enemies, and then we've successfully completed this mission, and we're gonna get 25 XP each and roll a d6 and get 100 bucks for every number rolled. So that is gonna be pretty awesome. And our epic threat is the living statue and 1 threat card. Okay. And we have to draw an enemy trait card for the living statue. So we will draw another threat card. And remember, we're taking from the otherworld threats. And we get bile spiders. A bile spider is a void spider with the following. Spits void venom. At the start of the activation, each bile spider spits venom at a random hero within range 4 using to hit +4. If not defended, this hit does no damage, but gives the hero a void venom marker -1 to hit during their next activation. Limit 1 per hero. And 5 XP for killing them. Okay, so then we're going to have to roll the yellow die there to see how many spiders show up. So we will collect all the goodie bits that we need and spawn them on the board, and then we will get on with the next turn with rolling back the darkness. Okay, and we got our living soldier here. Looks pretty sweet. And we're gonna place him like that. And then we're gonna have to roll this die, which I found out is called the peril die. And this is how many void spiders or bile spiders we're gonna have to place. So 4, better than 6. So we are gonna place them like this. I guess over here. And the trait that we drew for the living statue is metal. He is a metal living statue. So he has iron skin. So he has armor +5. So every hit we do to him, he gets to roll armor for, and jagged metal. For every full 5 damage a hero does to this enemy while in an adjacent space after armor, place a bleeding marker on that hero. So he's gonna slowly make us bleed with his jagged metal. And here is his card. So he is extra large. He's really slow though, which makes sense. He's huge and metal, so he's super heavy. His abilities are Unspeakable Terror. A hero starting their activation on the same or adjacent map tile automatically takes 2 horror hits. Steps over, moves through other models, and changes targets each turn. This enemy's melee to hit rolls of 6 count as special grab hits that ignore defense. Ugh. Instead of normal damage, the hero must roll a d6 for each grab hit done. If at least one of these dice rolls equal to or higher than the hero's initiative, rolls of 6 always fail, the hero is grabbed and thrown. The living statue selects another random hero within line of sight and makes a ranged 2-hit roll, throwing the hero. If hit, place the thrown hero in any space adjacent to the new target, and both heroes take peril die wounds, ignoring defense. If missed, the thrown hero bounces d3 times from the target's space like a bomb and takes d6 plus 3 wounds, ignoring defense. Wow, that's a lot of text. Okay, so we could potentially get picked up and tossed around the room, which is pretty cool. I mean, not really cool, but you know what I mean. And so he's got a move of 6, a range of 4+, melee of 5+. He rolls 4 dice that do 5 damage each. 30 health and 3 per hero, so he's going to have 36 health. We get 15 XP for each hit and 5 for each damage we do to him. And then he's going to have an ability here that we're also going to have to roll for. So I will put his card down here, and we will roll to see which one on the elite chart he gets. So we rolled a 1, so he gets Void Forged, gains keyword Void. Melee to hit is now 4+. Oh, darn it. That stinks. And then we're going to have to roll for our spiders too, so they don't actually have a card for them. They just have them on the back of the expansion Temple of Shadows book. So we'll roll the die for them, and it is a 4, which means hardened shells, they have +2 defense. So normally they have 0. Now they're going to have +2 defense. So I have to keep that in mind. And our drawing dread stack, we also have to go through and reveal. By order of the fallen shogun, no quarter is given to prisoners of war. They are staked or torn apart and left as a gruesome warning to all those that would oppose his will. The darkness moves 1 step forward on the depth track. If this moves it onto a blood spatter or growing dread space, every hero also takes d6 wounds, ignoring defense. Well, we are in luck because it does not go into a growing dread or a blood spatter space, which is perfect. It almost would have, but we were saved by that one. So that is great. And now we are going to start a new round, and we will hold back the darkness. And our rolling back the darkness phase, we roll a 5, which moves the depth track down 1, and we have to draw another growing dread card and reveal it because we're at the end. So here we drew another one, which is jealous spirits swirling around you. Ghostly aspirations begin to materialize, probably out of the sphincter, am I right? At first they are beautiful, but as the air grows ice cold, they twist and contort into terrifying specters, driven mad by their lust for lost life. Every hero must make a lore 6 test. If failed, your highest gold value gear or artifact card is stolen by the greedy ghosts. This does not include starting items or attached upgrade cards. Oh, dang it. Okay, lore 6. And our soldier only has a lore value of 1, so I feel like he's going to be losing something. But the soldier has this ability that when making a skill test, I can roll a d8 in place of one of the normal dice. So we're going to use that and roll a d8 and see if we can't roll a 6. And we cannot. So we have to lose our highest cost gear or artifact item, which really sucks. And this is our highest cost one. It's an artifact from the belly of the beast. It's called Flesh Armor, and it's worth $600. So he's got to lose that guy. And our Geisha has a lore value of 2, which isn't great, but she manages to get a 6, so she is safe. Awesome. That is great news. Okay, so now these void spiders have an initiative value of 6. So they are going to go first. And there's a lot to remember here now. So forgive me if I forget something. I do tend to get excited and then I forget steps. But basically our spiders get to move 8. And they are going to move towards our heroes. It says a random hero, but they are gonna try to mix themselves up equally between the two. So then we will move this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They always try to move to the other side as well to try to allow more room for other spiders. And then this guy is gonna go there. This one can target either. But we're going to have this spider attack her. Obviously, this one's going to attack her, and these two are going to attack him. So we are going to do that right now. So we'll do our Geisha first. So they get 2 combat dice each, doing 2 damage for each dice, or for each hit. And they hit on 4+. So they get 2 hits, so they do 4 damage to our Geisha. So we will have her roll. So 4 hits, she gets to roll 4 dice to block. And she needs to roll 3+ to block. So she actually blocks 3 of them. And then she has her spirit armor. So she can roll, oh yeah, so 5s or 6s would have blocked. So she only takes 1 wound, which is pretty great. So we will give her 1 wound. Remember, she does have this bleeding marker from previous turn there. And now these other 2 are going to do the same thing to the soldier. And they rolled really good. 3 hits, which does 2 damage each, so 6 damage. So he gets to roll his defense, which is 4+ he needs to roll. And he does pretty dang good. He just has 2 hits to deal with, but he has armor as well, so he just needs to try to roll 6s, and he doesn't. So he is going to take 2 more wounds as well. So we are going to give him his 2 wounds. So he's up to 6 wounds already out of 18 total health. So, I mean, he's not doing too bad, but we got to keep on top of that. And our Geisha gets to go next, and she is going to try to escape with a roll of 4+. Oh, and she does. And she's going to roll for move. And she is going to move there. She can still attack both of these 2 spiders because she's still adjacent. And then she can do her free attack on one of them. And she is going to do it to this guy here. And then she's going to use her, let's just see which weapon we're going to use here. And I just discovered something amazing. So I have this artifact that I got from a previous mission from when I was in the belly of the beast. And the Geisha has it, and it says, I can discard this to choose up to 3 enemy models on your map tile. Each of those models gains a bleeding marker. And what a bleeding marker does is it reduces your health by 3 for each bleeding marker that you have. A hero reduced to 0 health is KO'd. An enemy reduced to 0 health is killed. So these spiders only have 3 health. So if I reduce their health to 0, they're all going to die. So I'm going to totally do this. I'm going to discard 3 of them, and they're all going to gain bleeding markers and die. And we'll do the ones that I have not hit, because it doesn't say I have to be adjacent. It just says choose up to 3 enemy models on your map tile. So we are totally doing that, because that is going to be awesome. And she still gets to attack, because that was just a discard item. So she can still attack. She's got 3 combat dice. She hits on 4+, so she's going to use her Sword of Defiance, I believe. This guy here. Her combat hits are +1 damage. Anytime you kill an enemy, every other adjacent enemy takes a wound, but there are no other ones now. And so we're going to roll and see if we hit. And I can actually re-roll one of my 2 hit rolls. So we'll re-roll that one. So that one's a hit. And we have 2 hits, which is pretty good. And this one is a critical. So let's roll for that one first. And we do 3 damage. But they have, because of their elite ability that I rolled, they have +2 defense. So they actually only, that one would only take 1 wound. And then her other hit is a 5, and that totally kills that spider. So I don't think I would get experience for just getting rid of those other 3. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but she will get experience for this one, which is 10 experience. Now it's our soldier's turn, and he's actually going to use one of his herbs tokens to discard and heal 2d6 wounds. Because why not? He's kind of a hurting unit right now. And we get to heal 9. So we are going to use that herb token up. And we get to heal all of our wounds. Hooray! He's really good at first aid. Especially when confronting living statues in the middle of a giant sphincter. Okay, but now he has 3 shots with his rifle he can use, which he has range 10, so he can totally hit that living statue. And he gets 3 shots because he is not going to move on his turn. But he still has to roll dice, but he hits on 3+. Oh man, that's 2 hits. I don't get any rerolls. But then I get to roll the peril die for each of those hits and add 1 damage to the roll. So 7. Nice. For the first one. And minus his 4 defense, which does him 3 wounds. So we will give those to him. And then his other hit is 5 plus 1 is 6. Minus 4 is 2 more hits. So we'll just give him a 5. And that is his activation. And we are actually both in the same tile as the living statue, and I forgot about his unspeakable terror ability, so they both have to take 2 horror hits. So the Geisha is going to roll for those. She needs 4 pluses, so she blocks 1 of them and takes 1 sanity damage. And then the soldier, he heals them both. Good job, soldier.
Attaboy.
He is good at not going crazy. And now our living statue is going to move, and he has a move value of 6. So he is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he can, let's move this a bit. So he can hit both of them, or he can target both of them there. And he has 4 combat dice, and he does 5 damage each, and he hits on 4+ now because of that elite chart that we rolled, which majorly sucks. And remember, if he rolls 6s, he's going to do that grabby thing where he throws us around. So let's hope he doesn't roll any 6s. He doesn't roll any 6s, but he does roll 2 4s, which is 2 hits. And he is targeting the soldier. And so he does 10 damage. So our soldier gets to roll 10 defense dice for that. And the soldier needs 4 pluses. Oh, wow. That's a lot of defending going on. And so he's got 4 hits left, but he's got that armor. So if he rolls 6s, his armor prevents those, which he doesn't roll any. So he takes 4 hits. And thankfully we healed those 6 wounds before, so now he is sitting at 4 wounds. And I forgot that those 5 wounds we gave him, he has armor of 5, so we are going to have him roll to try to block some of those. And he does. He blocks one of them. So he actually only has 4 wounds. So we will give him those. And then we're going to roll back the darkness. And we do not. So that is going to move one more down. And then we'll go back on to our next round. And our Geisha is going to do her turn. The living statue has an escape value of 3. So she's going to try to escape. And she rolls a 4. Sorry, that went off camera there. And so she is going to move. And she gets a grit back. Woohoo! And she's just going to move 1. And now she can do her free attack on him, ignoring defense to an adjacent model. I think he would still have to roll for his armor, though. But he sucked at defending it, so that is great. So now he's got 5 wounds. So let's give him a 5 wound marker. And now she is going to use her parasol item. She's going to roll 3 dice and try to attack him. She gets an extra damage because he is large size. And her critical hits do +1 damage as well. And all her combat hits are +1 damage against enemies that have initiative equal to or lower than her cunning. So she's going to get potentially 3 extra hits for these. So she gets to reroll 1 of them. Nice, she gets 3 hits. And she is going to roll all of them together because I'm attacking the same guy. Okay. So none of them are critical. So each one of these is going to have 2 extra damage onto it. And once per adventure, I can add damage equal to my cunning, which is 5, to one of my combat hits. So we are going to use, or did I use that already? I may have used that already, I think. But anyway, this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage minus his 4 defense. That's 12 hits. But if you remember from this, every hero that does a full 5 damage to this enemy while in an adjacent space after armor, place a bleeding marker on that hero for every full 5 damage. So that's 12 potential hits. And we're going to see if his armor blocks any of those. So he needs 5s or 6s to block. Oops, that was a 6. So he does block 5 of them, unfortunately, but he still takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. So 7 hits is pretty good. I will take 7 hits. And then I do get a bleeding marker onto my Geisha, though. And she's already got one. But I can use grit to get rid of those bleeding markers. So I'm going to use a grit to get rid of the one I just got. And I still have one more grit I can use later on my next turn. So that was a pretty good turn for her. And the soldier is going to try to escape. Because, you know, he might get a grit back. Although he has 3 grit already. But he does escape. And I could shoot him with my gun. Or he also does have 5 combat hits. I think he will roll just for fun since he escaped. And he is going to target her next time. So maybe I should. 2, 3, 6. I can move way over here. And then attack him with my gun this turn. And then next turn I'll get an extra shot if I don't move, because he's going to attack her this time. So let's do that. He has 2 dice that he hits on 3+. And he hits on one of them only. Shoot. But he gets to roll the peril die. And he gets 3 + 1, which is 4, but he has 4 defense. So he really does nothing. That's not great. And now the living soldier gets to go, and he is going to roll 4 dice. He hits on 4+, against our Geisha. So 2 hits, no 6s, so he doesn't throw her. So 10 damage to our Geisha. So she needs 3 pluses to defend against. And she does pretty good. Just 3 hits left, and she's got that spirit armor 5 plus. She doesn't block any, so she takes 3 wounds. So we'll just take these 2 off and give her a 5. And she only has 11 health. And she's actually at 8. So, yeah, her next turn, she's definitely going to get rid of that bleeding marker and probably use one of her herbs. But that was the living statue's turn. And so next turn he will target the soldier, but the soldier is going to be able to go before him and shoot him with 3 shots and hopefully do some sweet damage. So let's go on to our darkness phase. So holding back the darkness, we do not. We have to draw a darkness card and we get Spirit Swarm. A tide of angry spirits flood past you, bringing a cold shiver that chills you to the core. Every hero must make a Spirit 6 test. If successful, gain 20 XP. If failed, take D6 sanity damage, ignoring willpower. Okay. Both our heroes have a Spirit of 3, so this will be for the soldier. He needs a 6, which he does not get. So he is going to take a D6 sanity damage, and our Geisha passes. So we'll roll for our soldier. He ignores willpower, so we can't defend against it, and he gets 5 sanity damage. Yuck. He does have 12 plus 6, 18 sanity that he can take, though. And if he's ever adjacent to our Geisha, she can actually heal sanity off of him as well. But now our Geisha gets to go first, and she's going to try to escape by rolling a 3 plus, and she does, so she can roll a 5. She can do another free attack to him, and I can roll 5. Let's just stay there. So I'll give him another hit, and he's going to roll armor for it, and he does, so he is not going to get that hit. But then she has 3 combat hits she can use with melee. She's going to use her parasol again, so she can re-roll one of these. And she did absolutely horrible. She can re-roll one of them. Oh my word, she didn't get any hits. Ah! That's not good. That's not good. But she is going to spend a grit to get rid of that other bleeding token. And at the end of her turn, she can heal a sanity on herself because of her ornate comb. At the end of her turn, you may heal a sanity. And then our soldier is going to go. And he hits on 3 plus, and he's got 3 shots now. So he is going to hopefully do some damage here. And he gets a critical and a 5. Okay, so let's do that critical first. So we get to roll this and add 1 to it. So he does 5 damage, and he ignores defense, but he still has his stupid armor. So 5 damage, he can still block with 5 pluses. He blocks 1 of them, so he takes 4 hits. So we will give those to him there. So that was his critical, so now he still has 1 more hit. And he rolls 3 plus 1 is 4. He's got defense of 4. Does nothing. And of course he's going to get experience, which I've been tracking all their experience here. And now he is going to switch targets. And he is going to move 6 over to the soldier. And he is going to roll his 4 dice. And he hits on 4 plus. And he hits on 2 of them. So 10 more damage to the soldier. And the soldier defends on 4 plus. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 damage. Hopefully he can roll some sweet armor. He doesn't roll any. So he takes 6 damage. Yuck. Okay. Not good. Not good. He's down to 10 wounds out of 18. He is probably going to use his other herb, and he's going to heal D6 wounds. So let's roll for that. Oh my word, he rolls 3. I'm going to use one of his grits to re-roll those. He gets 5. That's better. We'll take that. So he'll heal 5. And now he is down to 5 wounds. And we do another round. Back to our darkness track. We roll a 7. So that is keeping on, moving on. And now our Geisha gets to go. So hopefully she can reach this guy. Oh, totally. And she is going to do her free attack again. We'll see if he defends against it. He does not. So he gets another wound, which we will add to the pile here. She is going to roll or use one of her herbs to heal D6 damage as well. 2d6 damage. So she is going to heal 6. Perfect. She only had 5. So she is fully healed. And now she is going to attack with her parasol again. She's got 3 dice to attack with. Hitting on 4+, she gets to re-roll one of them. And so she hits on 2. Neither one are critical though. And so she will roll the first one here. So she gets 5 plus 2 for the extra abilities she has. So 7 minus 4 is 3 more hits. And then her other die, her other hit here, also does 7. So 4 more hits. And she got 70 experience points for that. And now it is our soldier's turn. And I think he's just going to use his melee this time because he gets to roll 5 dice. And I don't want to risk missing with his gun again. And we're going to use his fallen blade. So he's got 5 dice here. Oh, wow. 2 of them are critical. And he hits on 4 of them. Wow.
Oh, yeah!
Okay. Let's deal with those criticals first. Okay, so he does 5 damage plus. This is not a myth enemy. Nope. But you know what? Once per turn, I can discard a Darkstone to add 2 damage to one of my combat hits. So I'm going to do that. So that's 8 damage. And he can still use his Spirit Armor to block those 8. Oh, I got to remember those are my hits. 2 of those were critical. Okay, so then we used the 1. So I can't confuse these here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go over here and we will roll for his armor. He blocks on 5 pluses, so he blocks 3 of them. And apparently I can't count. 5 plus 2 is 7, not 8. So he's going to roll and try to block them with 5s. He blocks 2 of them, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits he takes. So we will give him those. And he is at 24 hits, everyone. The soldier might be able to take him out here. He's going to use his other critical and see if he can... Oh, man, a 1. We're going to use a grit and re-roll that. Okay, so he gets a 3. And that's all he can add to that. But that's going to go through his shields, but he still gets to roll for his Spirit Armor. So he's going to roll, and he blocks 1 of them, so he still gets 2 hits. So he's up to 26 out of 36, 10 more to go. And then he will do his next hit, which is a 2, which does nothing because he can block that. And then he does do a 6, which is pretty good. Minus is 4 defense, so that's 2 hits, plus he can roll 2 armor, and he blocks one of them, so he takes 1 more hit, which we will give him here. And now the living soldier is gonna go, and he's gonna be targeting the Geisha this time. So he's gonna roll 4 hits, or 4 dice, I mean. Hopefully not 4 hits. Oh no, and he rolled a 6. So I have to roll a dice, and if it's higher than my initiative value of 5, then he is gonna throw me. And it is a 5, and I think equal to or higher. Okay, so she is gonna get thrown. So he is gonna make a ranged attack and potentially throw him if he rolls, if he rolls 4 or higher, but he rolled a 3. So he does not throw her. Thank goodness. They would both have to take peril dice wounds if that were the case. But then she still has to deal with these 5 wounds from this one. So we will roll for that. And she blocks on 3+, so she blocks 4 of them. And then she's got spirit armor of 5, so she takes 1 wound. So we will give her 1 wound, and we will move on to the next round. And we will roll back the darkness. And we got a 3. So we are bringing out another darkness card. And I think we're just gonna get rid of it because the soldier has an ability called Stand Firm that he has been upgraded with. And once per adventure, he can cancel a darkness card and gain 10 XP. Easy peasy. And we are at 32 out of 36 wounds on this living statue. So we are both gonna get to go before him. So I'm really hoping that we can take him out. Really hoping the Geisha can take him out, and she is going to try that right now. So she's first going to try to escape by rolling a 3 or higher. She totally fails, so she won't be able to get her free wound, but she's got 3 dice, and she's going to roll an attack with her parasol again, and she rolled so horribly, but she gets 1 reroll, and she does get a hit. So she's gonna hope she rolls really, really good. Like a 6 would be nice, and she rolled a 6. Wow. Okay. Minus the 4 defense, so that's only 2 hits, but that's better than nothing. We will take it. So I'll give him 2 more hits, and I'll exchange 5 of these for a 5 wound marker. And he also has the spirit armor though, so he does get to roll spirit armor, or sorry, not spirit armor, just more normal armor of 5+, but he does not block any of those with his armor. So there's just 2 hits left. Can the soldier do it? He's gonna have 5 combat dice, and he's hitting on 4+. Should he do this or should he shoot his gun? I think he'll just do the melee attack. Oh, nice. He rolls 2 criticals and 2 more hits. Okay, let's see if we can put this guy to bed. We'll roll one of these criticals. And so that's going to go through his defense. And he seriously rolls a 1. We're going to use a grit and re-roll that. And wow, he gets 6 hits. And I think, yeah, he doesn't get any extra bonuses, but that's 6 hits. And it goes through his defense, but the living statue still gets to roll his armor. So he's got 5 armor. He blocks on 5+. He blocked one of them. He gets hit with 4 hits. And we have just taken the living statue out, which means we have won our adventure for today. We escaped the living sphincter. And boy, are we gonna have some stories to tell our fellow heroes. But that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed making this playthrough. Comment down below if you want to see more playthroughs like this. And one last thing, we get to do a reward. So each hero is going to gain 25 XP and recovers enough trinkets and lost relics that they can sell for D6 times 100. So let's do that quick. So they get 25 experience each. Mark that down, and then they each get to roll a dice. And so this is for the soldier, so he's gonna get 300 bucks. Not bad. And the Geisha is gonna get 200 bucks. Not too bad overall. And then from here, if you're playing the campaign, you can move on to the town phase, and you can visit different buildings, like the House of Healing. You can buy more of those herbs that I used during the playthrough. And the town phase is a lot of fun. Maybe in the future, one time, my next playthrough of this, I'll go through a town phase as well. Don't think I'm going to for this go around, but that was Shadows of Brimstone. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.